Harbour Convention Center in Vancouver, BC, NEW 5, and what a first half of the show we had.
We sure did. And we still have one heck of a show coming your way, Jordan. 5 more matches left in this one, and we're going to start it off with an intergender tag match. A pair of huge returns here in the NEW ring. We've already seen, of course, Bambi Hall make her return to wrestling in Vancouver.
She is Taylor Rising, and he is the Golden Gun.
And we've got the Golden Gun. Mark Wheeler came up a little bit short against Artemis Spencer in round 1 of the chase for the championship tournament. He's looking to get right and make an impact on NEW right here, and he brought with him some help.
He sure did. Taylor Rising going to partner with Mark Wheeler against the return of both. Alex Plexis and Cat Power both making their returns here to the BC scene.
Alex Plexis, the general manager of NEW, he's been teasing a big announcement, but here's the biggest announcement I care about. Cat Power is back, and she is wrestling for NEW.
A huge return for wrestling, period, not just women's wrestling here in the Vancouver area. An incredibly accomplished wrestler right across the world. She has represented Vancouver with pride in Japan, in Shimmer. And you can see as she comes to the ring, she is rocking a t-shirt attached to her belt, a tribute to the late great Daphne, who has been a wonderful mentor figure, or had been for Cat in her early years in wrestling. And Cat Power back here in NEW, hoping to provide that kind of leadership, that kind of mentorship, that kind of friendship for the next generation of women's talent here in NEW as well.
Former member of the Grindhouse, one of the best stables and groups we've ever seen here in the Pacific Northwest. But Cat Power herself, one of the most volatile, intense, and downright dangerous wrestlers to ever come through this region. Great to see her back.
An emotional moment for Cat, no doubt, as this is a return a long time in the making.
It's Stompa, unmistakable music for Alex Plexis, another person making their return, the general manager making his way to the ring, former Pacific Cup winner.
If I'm not mistaken, Jordan Bowman, you were there that night to see him win the Pac Cup.
I was! We're seeing the Stompa walk! I haven't seen that in a long time.
The boss, Alex Plexis.
This little greaseball making his way out to the ring does not look like he's dressed for a match here, Jordan.
He's got the J Hunter waistcoat, he's got the jeans on, and just smart off the charts. He's got his finger taped. Stompa walk! But you're right, he does not look dressed to compete.
Hell of a belt buckle the gentleman is rocking at the moment. A nice little luchador mask keeping his pants up.
We're getting the announcement, Justin. It's happening.
Hello, NEW. And hello, Cat Power. You know, Cat, I can't tell you how happy I was when Rob Fay passed your contract across my desk. You know, some people think that signing new talent is the general manager's job, but I don't get hung up on details like who got signed or who undermined my authority. I'm just happy to see you. But, as you can all tell, I am in no condition to wrestle tonight.
His finger.
So I'd love to, Cat, I really would, but you know, I can't. Don't you worry though. I have found you a great replacement partner. In fact, I think you know each other. Wrestling personified.
That music can only mean one thing, Jordan Bowman. Wrestling personified. Out comes Eddie Osbourne.
Oh man, the history between Eddie Osbourne and Cat Power. These two do not not like each other. What a twist from our general manager, Alex Plexis.
You talked about, of course, Cat Power being a veteran of Grindhouse. Eddie Osbourne, a veteran himself of the Moonshine Mafia.
Another group that has completely devastated all their opponents here in the Pacific Northwest.
Those two, however, had multiple run-ins, and they definitely do not like each other. And so General Manager Alex Plexis diving into the WWE bag of tricks, asking us, can they coexist?
I'm gonna put $400 and say no.
I think you might recoup the money you lost on the opening match as a result of that bet.
Yes.
Certainly presents one hell of an opportunity for the Golden Gun Mark Wheeler and the standout Taylor Rising.
I would go ahead and assume that those two get along a lot better than Cat Power and Eddie Osbourne.
They
One would hope.
certainly do. They certainly do.
Cat Power not going to be backed into a corner by anybody. Oh, it is 2022, Eddie.
Eddie taking offense to being called Toots by Cat Power.
The crowd chanting Toots at Eddie Osbourne.
As perhaps Mark Wheeler and Taylor Rising don't have to do anything to Eddie Osbourne here tonight. He's already being just assaulted by the words of this crowd.
I'm sure they could just sit on the apron, let these two beat the hell out of each other, and then pick up the pieces.
And that's teamwork right there. Wheeler and Rising, what the tabloids might call something of an item, Jordan.
I would say so.
You know, question the chemistry that they share.
And you mentioned the chemistry. I mean, they're obviously training partners as well, so they are so used to wrestling together and working against other teams. Again, I can't stress enough the experience advantage that Mark Wheeler and Taylor Rising have in this match.
And if you're not familiar with both Mark Wheeler or Taylor Rising, you will be before too long. Because no pun intended, Jordan, her star is rising. This is quite a talent.
I've got Eddie Osbourne's song stuck in my head still. It's so good. It's so good.
We're seeing some wrestling personified right now from these two women in the ring. As Kat with the early advantage, but Rising throws her into the ropes and Taylor hits the deck. Thanks to a stiff shoulder block from Kat, showing her power.
Wonderful waist lock takedown from Cat Power there. Dropping an elbow on Taylor Rising.
You can see the level of passion in Cat Power, everything she's doing thus far in this match. Of course, every competitor is passionate about what they do, but when you haven't been in the ring for a little while, I'm sure it hits a little different, Jordan, and we can see that so far. In the early stages of this one, she is feeling it.
The matching waistlock takedown and elbow to the back for the other member of the tag team of Mark Wheeler and Taylor Rising.
As Eddie Osbourne's just tagged himself in. And I guess you don't really necessarily have to worry about coexisting with your partner if you're never in the ring together.
That's a great point. Eddie Osbourne, just a brutal, bruising man.
This is less of a tag team match and like two singles matches that are happening at the same time. As in comes Taylor Rising, and she shows no fear in there with a significant size disadvantage against the much larger Eddie Osbourne, who is happy to let her get her shots in before he hits back with one of his own. Oh, wow.
Big nasty boot. Oh, Eddie Osbourne looking for the tag.
And Kat's not gonna give it. Little reluctant, but now in she comes. Taylor Rising able to wrap her arms around that top rope and stop herself from being thrown into the waiting bodies of her competition. But now it's Eddie Osbourne bringing her up and using his opponent as a weapon against his own partner. Unconventional, to say the least.
I was optimistic for their chemistry when they actually made a tag, but Eddie Osbourne using his opponent to throw it at his partner, maybe that team is already off the rails.
I think charitably he could say, I thought you were going to catch her and then suplex her, but perhaps not how it turned out.
Golden Gun, Mark Wheeler back in the ring. Jaw jack from Cat Power. Safe to say, I don't think their team chemistry is where it needs to be.
Was that a tag? Do you think that counts as a tag?
Can you tag someone with a knee to the back?
Is Eddie the legal man now? I'm not entirely sure. It doesn't look like he is. As Mark Wheeler looking for a pin on Cat Power, was not able to get it, but he did thank Eddie Osbourne for his contributions just the same.
Cat Power in a bit of a handicap match here.
Talking about iron sharpening iron, some of the opponents that B-Boy has faced over the years earlier in the show, Jordan. Some of the opponents that Eddie Osbourne has faced, my goodness. He's a bit of a veteran, honestly. Not something that I would expect from a big boy with a bit of a baby face to him.
He's just such an angry-looking man. One of these days, I'm going to work up the courage to say hello to him, and that will most likely be my last day on this earth.
That's probably why I thought he was about 10 years younger than he actually is. I've been too scared to actually make eye contact. But he's taken on some real formidable opponents in his day, including Samoa Joe. Heck of a match from about 15 years ago. As now Mark Wheeler tags back in, suplex on Cat Power.
Cat Power almost in a handicap match right now, not being able to make it to her corner and tag in any sort of relief or support.
And honestly, I have to be at least partly disgusted with Alex Plexis. This was a huge moment, a massive match, the return of Cat Power to the Vancouver wrestling scene. And I guarantee this is not going the way she dreamed it would.
Plexis and Power, a team a lot of us were excited to see again, and yeah, we saw a double cross from the general manager.
Taylor Rising now with a hip toss into the corner, throwing her weight around, diminutive as she may be, still some power to those strikes.
Wonderful German suplex from Taylor Rising. I'm going to say she's deceptively strong. She's got an exploder suplex that could put this match away really, really quickly if she's able to hit it.
Might be making her debut with NEW this evening, but Vancouver wrestling fans have seen her work with Rickshaw Wrestling in the past.
Great organization.
And I have been so impressed with what I have seen from Taylor Rising here tonight and in the past as well, as she puts her power on display, no pun intended, taking Cat down to the mat. Stomping those fingers, making it even more difficult for Cat to deliver strikes of her own as this match continues.
I was going to say also making it difficult for her to make a tag with a bum hand, but I don't think that's going to be a factor.
Yeah, I don't think so either.
Yeah.
As Wheeler and Rising very much on the same page here. We're seeing textbook teamwork from that pairing.
And there is no respite for Cat Power. There is no support for Cat Power. She's got to overcome all three people in this match, which is a pretty tall ask for her first match back in a while.
It certainly is. As Mark Wheeler and Taylor Rising are keeping their shifts short, as it were. No hesitancy to tag in and out at will, as perhaps Wheeler getting a little overly confident. Power back on her feet and now laying in chops. Rake to the eyes. Puts Wheeler back in control. Scoop slam on Power. And as I said, short shifts. Oh, Wheeler thought he was going to tag out. No, he's going to stay in.
Going to the top rope, looking for a moonsault here. Ooh. Ooh. See, here's where it is. We're in a common tag team match with partners that like each other. You would make your way to the corner for support, but she's not going to have it.
Eddie's calling for the tag, though. Maybe a little bit of misdirection on his part. We'll see if Kat can actually trust her partner here as she looks to make her way out of this match. Back to her feet, staggering over. The outstretched hands. No, double birds flipped right in the face of Eddie Osbourne.
For a second, I thought she was going to tag him right in the face with her fist.
Doing that to Taylor Rising instead. Ran her nose first into the top turnbuckle. Rising, able to, thought she was going to be able to reverse that Irish whip. Instead, she gets thrown back into the near corner and a big lariat from Kat, who's got the wind back under her sails.
Running elbow attack to the corner. Taylor Rising doesn't know where she is at right now. Miscommunication from Mark Wheeler and Taylor Rising.
That's the danger, perhaps, Jordan, in tagging with your partner. Your life partner, not your tag partner. I have a feeling Mark Wheeler's going to be hearing about that one for a few weeks at least.
If you take wrestling serious enough, your tag partner is your life partner, as is your broadcast partner.
That is true. It's now Rising and Power exchanging chops in the middle of the ring. Taylor Rising intercepting that strike. Looked like she was gonna go for an exploder suplex. Can she deliver it? No, Kat's gonna reverse, I think.
Told you, if she hits that exploder suplex, this is over. Hammerlock, cradle drop there.
And Eddie Osbourne just prevented the 3 count.
I have never seen someone want to lose a match more than Eddie Osbourne.
He would rather win the match himself than let Kat get the win for him. Eddie, you get the winner's purse just the same. What foolishness is this? As Osbourne and Power finally explode. A Uranagi on Kat Power as Eddie puts Taylor Rising on top of his own partner. And Wheeler and Rising get the win, but I don't know that Taylor Rising even knows where she is right now.
Congratulations, Eddie, you lost the match. Don't tell him I said that. Couple of Toronto's finest getting a huge win here in NEW Pod, and they are not done.
No, they are not. The Golden Gun himself, Wheeler, Mark Wheeler.
Oh, but could we see some sort of alliance maybe with Eddie Osbourne here? Very cordial with his opponents.
Eddie Osbourne, of course, very familiar with the Ontario wrestling scene. Has probably come across Mark Wheeler and Taylor Rising a few times in his day.
Eddie Osbourne not done.
Kat looking to fight out. And what can she deliver to the man who was set to be her partner this evening? A big strike to the face will send EO out to the floor. And these two are going to see their dislike continue. This is not the end of this story, not by a long shot.
Kat Power, so resilient after everything she's went through. She's the one standing in the ring after this is over. She's not alone. This crowd wants to see a bonus match.
even hear some kind of explanation, perhaps, from Eddie Osbourne over the way he has behaved himself this evening.